In this video, I want to show you how you can put together your little book of graphs, which comes in a packet that looks like this. It will eventually, when you're finished with it, it will be a little booklet that actually is more like an accordion that folds out. So I just wanted to show you, how you would go ahead and make it into a booklet. So the first thing I want to show you is that you have to be careful how you cut it. You're only going to cut it across the top and the bottom. You need to leave both margins. And I would also highly recommend that you do each page at a time. Don't try to do them all together, because then your edges will not be very neat. So I'm going to try to give you some hints on how to do this so that it folds a little bit nicer, because I was trying to figure it out as I was making mine, so you can see it's not very well aligned. So I'm hoping what I show you will help you to do a better job. So again, I only did the top and the bottom. I'm going to cut across the middle here. And again, I'm only doing one page at a time. I am not going to make the entire book. I'm just going to do a few pages here so you can see how you put it together. So again, just line the tops and the bottom. Okay. So in your booklet, if you notice, when I open up my book, I see these are together across from each other, which means that my pages I'm going to want to have across from each other so you can see how my strips are looking. And again, I'm going to reiterate only the top and the bottom. You want to keep those little tabs on the side, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. I'm just cutting one more page. So there's 3, and one more here. Okay, so this is what I highly recommend you do. For each page, fold it in half along that line. You can see it. It's probably easier to do it this way first, onto each other. Fold it nice and neat. Do a nice crease. Mine's already off a little bit. Once it gets off, it's hard to get back on. And then come back to the center like such. Okay? On each one of those. And then the same thing on this little ridge here. That's the hardest part, is to kind of get the ridge like that, to fold it in, and then fold it back. So you're kind of telling the paper which way you want it to go with each crease. And the same thing with this lip on this side. You're going to go ahead and fold it along that crease, and then fold it back the other way. Okay, so everywhere where there's a line, I put a crease. So I'm going to do the same thing on the second one. I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to try to line everything up best I can. Fold it in half along that crease, make a nice crease there. And then the same thing with the other direction, so that it turns nice. And then we have this little tiny lip here. So I'm going to try to crease that there. And then crease it the other way. And the same thing with this crease here. It's easier to fold it so that you can see where that line is. Okay, so I just did the first 2. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our glue stick and we're going to glue up this extra tab. And try to get it way off to the sides and enough so that this little crease here has enough glue to stick on. I'm going to line up my creases and I'm going to push that on like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for my next page, which I did not pre-crease. I'm going to do that right now. Pre-crease the next one. In fact, I'm not going to crease this one. We'll just see what happens. But I'm going to glue it. Make sure you have enough to cover all the edges. And then I'm going to line that up, push it in, give it time to dry. And then, of course, I have one more that I cut out, so I'm going to do all of these. Notice I didn't do my cover yet. I'm going to kind of leave that open to you and figure out how you want to do that. Okay, so again, I'm going to glue that in like this. So I know that this one here, I go back to the beginning, that's going to fold in. And then this one here, I pre-creased it, but the glue might give it some problems. That will fold this way. Okay, so pre-creasing it helped a lot. Then that moves in. And then, again, we want to make sure we crease right along that fold. Okay. And then that creases in like that. This one here I did not pre-fold, so this one might be a little bit tougher, but you can see I'm grabbing it, giving it a little bit of a start for the crease, and then that will fold in. You can see it already looks neater than the book that I had thrown together. I had not pre-creased this one, so it's always easier to go back first and then forward. So now I have my accordion that opens up, okay, with all the creases. So that's how you would do that. So if you wanted to, you can take your little book of graphs and, again, you'd put that right before number 1, and you would glue this in very nicely, like such. Try to get all edges. Line this up, line on line. It's helpful if you let it dry a little bit before you try to fold it. But then once it's dry, mine's not, once it's dry, you can see that would fold around like this, and then this would fold around the back side to kind of hold it in. And then you can cut this last page of tab off if you so choose. You could choose to glue it onto that last one if you want. You could choose to do some sort of maybe paper that comes around and put a little bit of Velcro there, or you could just keep it simple and take a paper clip and paper clip it together, however. But that's how you put your book together. You can see your book is going to be a lot fatter than the one I just made, but I just gave you the general idea of how to get this so that it comes out as an accordion.